if she would go to therapy. Nicole did not want to go to therapy, so we split up. No problems, no arguments, no nothing. That week we attended a couple of affairs together for our kids. We had dinner together a couple of nights that week. I was told by Kathy Randa that Paula Barbieri was coming in town for one day. I surprised her at the airport, met her, and she wasn't dating anybody, and we decided to give it a shot, to start trying to work to see if we can get back together. The following week, and this is the 30 days preceding Nicole's death, the following week, Nicole was ill. She had double pneumonia. I spent that week, when I returned from New York, I believe, going to her house in the morning, bringing her her favorite scones and coffee, and in the afternoon, obviously, to do the homework with the kids and bring her dinner and see if she needed any medication. And I spent much of that week tending to Nicole. She had a birthday that week, and we talked about, you heard so much about this bracelet. Yes, I brought Nicole actually a cigarette lighter, a gold Cartier cigarette lighter for her birthday. But when I was at her house, her kids said, what did we give her? I had a gift for Paula Barbieri that I was going to give her to celebrate our anniversary when we first met or first dated, which would have been 3 days later. One thing you'll see in her deposition, this piece of jewelry that I brought, this bracelet, went directly, sapphire and diamonds with jewelry I had previously bought Paula Barbieri. Totally not the type of jewelry I'd ever given Nicole. She even commented on, you never bought me anything like that, but I had no gift from the kids, and I gave her that bracelet. But in any event, for the next week, I went out of town. I came back in town. I was hosting maybe 300 or 400 kids and their parents here at my house for my son's preschool. Nicole came over. Everyone who saw us that day saw two people who got along. Many of them would have probably thought we were still together. I was watching the NBA Finals in here. Nicole came into this living room and laid literally across my lap. People were here. She went upstairs because she was still feeling weak and laid in my bed. Later on that night went home. For the next week, everything was fine with us. And then one night, I think I talked about this a little earlier, she called me. She was pretty upset that Faye Rusnick was attending an affair with us. And of course, Faye never told her that Faye insisted on going to that affair. I didn't like the fact that she called me and yelled at me. I didn't like the fact that my housekeeper, Gigi, came to me complaining that Nicole was upset with her and came to her because she wasn't here one weekend when it was her weekend off. I informed her that you work for me, not Nicole. I had already lost my favorite housekeeper 2 months previous because Nicole came into this house and had a physical confrontation with that person. And it was at that time I decided that I wanted to pretty much cut off any type of communications with Nicole unless it had something to do with the kids. The week of her death, I spoke to Nicole. She called my office. She wanted to make sure that I would be in town for my kids' recital and how many tickets that I might need. I spoke to her later on that week because I was back east in Washington and in Connecticut, and I just found out that Justin's school, his preschool, was having a ceremony for his graduation, and I wasn't able to attend that. Of course, the day of her murder, I saw her at a recital. She saved me a seat that was 2 seats from her. I sat 2 seats from her. I spoke to her family. Other than asking for my ticket, I didn't speak to her. One of the police reports in this case pointed out that Dominique Brown stated that Nicole said to her, see, OJ won't even talk to me, even though you pundits are out there saying she scorned me that day and that was a trigger for me committing this crime. It was totally the other way around. I wasn't scorning her. I just didn't want to get involved in any conversation with her at that time. Even though at one point, a few times when our daughter was dancing, we looked at each other and sort of mouthed that Sydney was beautiful. When that affair was over, I was outside talking to friends, talking to Dr. Fishman, teasing with Lou Brown, certainly not having any kind of dour personality, not being angry. Fortunately, there was a video that proved that. I will say this, that in the year and a half that Nicole and I was apart, we never argued about any person that she was dating, any person. In the month that Nicole and I was apart leading up to her death, no friend of hers will tell you that I called them about anything. In fact, it was completely the opposite. Her best friend in this world, Cora Fishman, a person who was interviewed by Marsha Clark and Philip Van Adder about this murder, about Nicole's and my relationship. And as she spoke about our relationship, time and time again, Marsha would say to her, interrupt her and say, "Oh, you're not her friend. Oh, how can you say that? This is a woman that has not made a dime off this case. She refused to do anything for money, yet they tried to intimidate her and skewer what she had to say about Nicole's and my relationship." It was Cora that came to me roughly 10 days before Nicole's death and said, "OJ, you need to take Nicole and the kids and get out of LA." I do feel some guilt. I feel guilt because Nicole wanted to move in with me. She made that clear to me and everybody many times during that year from 93 to 94, and I refused. I feel guilt because I didn't listen to Cora Fishman that day. I feel guilt because people like Faye Rusnick was able to say to me, "Nicole loves you, OJ, and you're back with Paula." I feel guilt about a lot of those things, but I do not feel guilt for the murder of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. I did not do that. I swear before God, I did not commit these crimes. And I ask you, members of the community, I don't think I'm going to change any of your guys' mind with this tape. I just want you to listen to the facts. I ask the media, just print the facts. People want to know facts, not skewered testimony, not lies, not interpretations, just the facts. And I ask you all, I mean, I've been good to everybody. I don't think there's anybody out there that won't say that wherever they met me, all over this country for the last 30 years, I took time. I treated you the way I wanted to be treated. My mother taught me. I knew religion long before Rosie Greer came to jail. I grew up in Evergreen Baptist Church. I was taught you do unto others, and that's what I've tried to do my entire life. You know, I tried to treat people the way I wanted to be treated. I don't think there's anybody out there that ever met me anywhere, in airports, in ballparks, on the street, that I wasn't kind to you. I didn't treat you the way I thought you wanted to be treated. Anybody who's ever written me, I wrote them back. Charities that ever called me, I always sent them something at my cost. I only asked you to give me that courtesy, to treat me the way I treated you. And I asked the media to print the facts. I'll say to you once again, I have nothing but compassion for the Goldmans and for the Browns, but I lost just as much as you did. I lost more than you did because I lost a person that I love. I've lost my life, and I've lost my ability. I don't think so. My ability to provide for the people around me. That's all I want to do. Provide for my family, my kids, and give me the opportunity and a fair shake to say what I need to say. I listened to what everybody else said. I tried to do that with some dignity. I ask you to listen to me and you judge. But I swear to you before my God, I did not commit these crimes. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me.